Thank you for not touching that dial. And before we get into our next topic, I'll just give you a prompt that later on we're going to have a very cool game because I'd like to see Kathomi in
Cool or
tears.
spicy?
Cool game, okay? It's spicy season. Anyway, but before we get to that, it's time to talk about a few things we never talk about, especially in the workplace, or rather, things you should never do or say when it's your first time on the job. And I understand it's very exciting when you're starting a new job. It's your first day. You want to make a good impression. You want to be friends with everybody around you. But there are things you should never say. Like number one, we do not used to do this at my previous job. Why are you comparing what used to happen in your previous job at your current job? It kind of gives the impression of I'm better and you guys don't know what you're doing. You know, like somebody tells you, oh, this is how we do this. And instead of you just learning and accepting, you're like, sisi hatukuwa tunafanya hivyo. So it just gives a wrong impression about you.
Yeah, it comes off as pompous. Another one is, when do we get a raise?
Where?
Day
So
one.
umeanza?
Day one. We can negotiate na your employer. Mbona ukuuliza?
Exactly.
Don't do it. It just gives like a greedy vibe. Like you're not
Exactly.
there for the right reasons.
And making up excuses. You know, when it's your first time on the job, the only thing you want to do is learn, keep your head down, do your job. But if you've just started working, it's week one, and then you're telling your manager or your line manager, you're like, hey, by the way, me on Fridays, I'm never available. Sikwangi available on Fridays, or I think I'll need to leave early. The first week you have arrived at this job, you're making up excuses as to why you can't show up on certain days. These are things you should have negotiated while you are getting a job. But just throwing that around when you're very new and you don't know, other people's schedules is a bit uncalled for.
Another one that's very abrasive, because again, you could be asking it to the wrong person. You don't even know anyone in this place, and you were there saying like, who should I know? Who should I meet? Alafu, who should I avoid? Like, who's bad in this place? It just gives off the wrong energy. Additionally, you could be asking the wrong person that information. The
Exactly.
dynamics of offices are tricky.
Very
Sit
tricky.
down, learn for yourself.
Exactly.
Give yourself a chance to actually learn.
And in the spirit of learning, actually accept to learn. Don't say, I was not taught like this is not how I do it. And as you're learning these things, can you learn to keep your mouth shut? Keep your mouth shut and observe, because asking questions like, when is the holiday party? Uku mnakuanga na team building? Or what do you guys do? Should I expect a raise? Do you usually get bonuses? It just feels like you're very greedy and you came here with the wrong intentions and not to actually work.
What do I need to do to get a raise? What do I need to do to get a promotion? That overambitious energy is good, but let it be it's a monologue. You're asking yourself those questions. Let it not be an outward projection of those words. What do I do to get a promotion? How did you get this position? Do you know what I mean? It always just brings a weird level of competition, which unfortunately is not good for you. Like when you start asking people like, what do I need to do to get a promotion? It starts to feel like, why are you asking me? Are you trying to steal my job? It's always very a lot of people are apprehensive because they don't want to feel disposable or like you're gunning for their job.
True. And don't make it a habit of bashing or talking negatively about your previous employers. Now you found a new job, you get there like, hey, let me tell you, the ghetto I was in, my boss used to do this and this and this and this and this. My colleagues used to do all of these things. Coming to report and narc on probably the competitors is such a horrible look on you. So do not do it.
Another thing is always assuming that you know best. For example, you see people have lunch in a particular place at a specific time, and it's like a group of people who have lunch there, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Why do you guys go there? Why don't you go here? Like trying to find reasons why that doesn't make sense. We should do it this way. I don't like that. why not find out why guys go to lunch at that particular spot? Why not find out why people do a specific thing? Why not find out why that policy has been put in place? For example, you can only be here from this time to this time. Anytime after that, you're not supposed to be here. Instead of saying, what if I want to work to just find out why is that a policy in place? Why is that a rule or regulation? Find out, because you may get more answers from there than you would standing your ground for something you don't understand.
The way we say do not discuss politics or religion at the dinner table, take that rule and take it to work with you. Do not go to your place of work and start trying to poach religious followers. Do you want to come to my church this Sunday? Do you want to do this, this, this? Do you want to pray with me? If they have not initiated this, or if the conversation has not led to that, it was just unprompted from your end to try and force down your religion or your political views. Kwanza politics. And not just politics, even sports. Stop the need to share your sports enthusiasm with your colleagues if they are not interested. Keep it at home.
Yeah. Or find, again, this is why it's important for you to learn people, because you will find your crowd. But if you're starting to tell me about, the way your church has a revival meeting, and I'm just like, why are you telling me that? You'll just rub me off the wrong way, and that's not good. Another thing is, like, in my opinion, I think, girl, who asked you? Boy, who asked you? Wait and listen to what others say, the feedback they give. This is day one and you're already saying, in my opinion. I've made that mistake once. Please don't repeat it. It doesn't work it does not benefit you at all. You either get too much work placed on you because you seem like you know what you're doing, and then ultimately everyone is gunning for you. Mpatie tuone venye atafanya. It's always like they give you a challenge for you to fail.
And also, don't be too casual with your coworkers. Sometimes it feels like because we've been in close proximity for a hot minute, it's like we know each other, and you let down the formalities, and you start making small, funny and unfunny jokes with your colleagues. Stop it. Do not do it. And sometimes this casualness can seep into you trying to be buddy with your friends, and you start small office gossip like, uku kuna kwanga na employee discount, uku kuna kwanga na nini. Like, did you see the dress she was wearing? And then it leads to gossip, and it just feels like a me thing. It's just always you. Everything is rotating around you. You don't want to call your bosses sir, madam. You don't want any formalities. You just want to be very casual with everyone. Then everyone does not take you seriously. So if possible, stay formal. Stay as formal as long as you can, because you don't want to be trying to do something professional with someone, but because you guys are besties, they're looking at you some type of like, unakwanga serious sometimes. Just don't leave room for that kind of casualness.
And I think ultimately, this is from my own experience anyway, always make sure that you don't take things personally. Like, sometimes people just are, they're just mean people in the office, and then there are people who like jokes. They have their own banter going on already. You don't know what the source of it is. You don't know, any of that. It's just banter, trying to poke and see what your levels are. The people who are just like that. So don't take everything personally. Someone will say something like, no English mob. And then you're over there like, Aki, for real. You start switching, and now you're speaking in Swahili just so you can keep up with the Joneses. It doesn't work. Ultimately, you change yourself so much, by the time it's week 3, you don't even know who you are.